Last week, crude oil had its worst week of 2024. So there is a caution to when the time to buy will be. We are going to look at that on this video. Let's get going. Okay, so we can see here, this is January 2024. Okay, we began crude oil roughly at about $72 a barrel. You can see we hit its high point back on April 8th of 2024. We hit about $87. And then we hit the floor so far at around 64 just on September 9th of this year. And then this week here, this has been the largest reduction of crude oil based on percentages than we've had the entire 2024. This red candle came close. This red candle came close, but percentage-wise, last week was our largest drop of crude oil so far in 2024. So we are going to start looking at this crucial area right in here. And the first thing I want to kind of do is take a look at this Fibonacci retracement area on the weekly where we are right now. Let's go ahead and turn that up just a little bit. And you can see here, as I bring in my spotlight a little bit tighter, okay, that you can see that we are kind of in this area that we normally would begin to look for some type of reversal. We can see here that over the past month or so, we've had rejection down at this 88.6 area, which is about $66 a barrel or so. And so likelihood is that we're probably going to see a little further down movement. And really, when we look at this 100 Fibonacci area, this is the key area that can really change the course to crude oil if we close below this 64.50 marker. So let me show you a different perspective when we squeeze the chart. And this is that level that we just showed you on the Fibonacci area. And you can see here that on several occasions, this 64.50, 65-ish area, we have come to this area several times where it's acted both as resistance and in this case, support, 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 pretty support, and then pretty support. So this area right here is going to be a very key area because there's a chance that if we close below this 65-ish area right here, right, then as we squeeze the charts, we really don't have any major resistance until we head back down towards 57. And then do we possibly head back down to 51? That's why this is going to be a very, very key area to see if oil is going to possibly rebound and possibly head back up. Okay, so now let's start taking a look at our daily time frame. And we're going to go ahead and mark up this daily time frame. And what I want you to do is to go ahead and mark up your charts with me so you have these daily zones marked up as well. Now, this level right here that we're at is kind of a key level because we did see a previous bounce from this level and then price came up to our next level of 71 and we are right back here again. In addition, if we do draw a Fibonacci retracement from this wick of a low to this wick of a high, again, we can see here that we are in the area that we normally begin to look for some form of reversal. We do see somewhat of a doji candle that the day time frame was closed on Friday. Okay, so now looking in at this 8-hour candle, this is where we want to start focusing on and looking for price action right in here. It seems like the last 8-hour candle on Friday came up, took liquidity, and again, we are back down at this level right in here on the 8-hour. And so we are going to look for price action to see if we get any type of closure below this level. If we do get a closure below this 68.30 level, then we can expect price to come back down, possibly to retest or retouch this wick down here at about 66.21. So before we continue with the analysis, if you're getting value, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're brand new, don't forget to subscribe. And to all my subscribers, make sure that you have your notifications bell turned to the all setting so you don't miss out on tons of content that will be coming out both through long form videos, short form videos, and our community post. So make sure you are checking those out. Okay, so here's the current view from the 4-hour level. And again, this could be a level that, depending on what happens with gap situations on Sunday when the markets open, and we will talk about that in just a second, this could possibly be a position where a long position could be possible right from this level, heading right back up to this level, right back up here. Okay. Because on the 4-hour level, a couple of things that are interesting. Number one is, you can see here that we still have a lot of liquidity on this candle that is unmet. But here's the most important thing that I wanted to wait until later in the video to show you. This is an open gap that was created last week and has not been closed. So the question is, will they come up for this gap, okay, sometime this week or next week? Gaps usually close fairly quickly, but again, sometimes gaps do take weeks to close, and we talked about this in one of our member sessions recently. So again, this could be a possible, setup that you're looking at if we can get this bounce and the positive price action from this area. If not, we then need to move the entry for a long position back down to the bottom here, hoping to go all the way back up to the gap. Okay, so there's a lot of different scenarios here that can play out. We can either play out a short scenario as well. If we get that bearish candle to close, then we go below the wick and try to go from here to here. So this is going to be interesting, and this is what we'll be looking at inside of our trading club. We'll be looking at this daily analysis almost every hour, looking for price action. Okay, so now with the spotlight on the 1 hour, this is the area that we begin to look for that price action to happen. Once we can get a bullish engulfing candle, which means we get a candle to close above this structure point right here, that is kind of our confirmation to go long. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put a level right here because we've seen a lot of resistance at this 70.68 area. So we're looking for this bullish engulfing candle. Let me zoom in. Okay, if we are going to go long, and again, we do have an open gap and liquidity zones up in here, the question is, are they going to drop price down one more time? On vice versa, if we see that bearish engulfing candle come down to this area, then that's going to be your cue to take price at least down one more level, which, if you look over to the left, we can highlight right over here in this particular area. So we're looking for this bearish candle if we're going to go further below 68.35, and we're going to look for this bullish engulfing candle. And let me give you an example of it. If you look right over to the left, you can see that green candle right here. So again, this would be an area you would be looking for something like this to happen over here, where you get this candle. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in real quick so you can see it. You can get this type of green bullish engulfing candle right here. You can see it broke the structure point. If you get this, this is your sign to go long back over here on the right. Okay, and lastly, let's talk about gaps. Now, gaps are probably going to be created this Sunday. There's been a lot of global news. Will they just gap down? Will they gap up? Let's go back into the chart here, and let's give you a couple of scenarios for the gap. So again, if you don't understand what the gap is where price closed and where price opens. So let me remove these two candles here, but give you the exact same type of scenario. So we can see here that this is where price closed. Okay, price closed on Friday. Okay, now we definitely do not need the font to be that big, so let's change this font down to about 24. Okay, so price closed there on Friday. There's going to be a couple scenarios that are going to happen. Number one is if price gaps up, meaning when the Sunday market opens at 6 p.m., if price opens up, the gap is created between the price closure and the price opening, just like it did over here. So let me go back up to this example. Okay, this example was on Friday, October 11th, price closed here. On Sunday, price opened here. Well, they have yet to close that gap. You can see the gap is still here in the market. Okay, usually gaps are going to be closed. They normally close within 24 hours, but then there's cases like this one that we've got an entire week and price has not closed. That should be a signal to you to be on the heads up, because I think in less than 1% of cases have I seen price gaps not close. And that's going to be huge because, again, my bias right now, based on where price is, even if we go a little further down, is to swing crude oil back up. Okay, so that's what's going to happen here. Now, if the market's open and they gaps down, meaning we have a gap or a candle that closes or opens down here, same scenario. We would have a gap. I'm actually hoping that we get this scenario, honestly, because if we get the lower gap a second time, then there is a 100% chance that they're going to come up and close this first gap for sure, because I've never seen two open gaps left, and then eventually they will come up for this gap here. So that's kind of the two scenarios that we will be playing on the gap, and it's something that we trade live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time inside of our trading club on Sundays, and not only for crude oil, but for the indices as well. So a quick recap would be this. If price drops lower, I think you have a great opportunity to swing crude oil further back up, at least, a couple of 100 points, meaning $2 changes on crude oil. Again, because of that open gap, my bias is only to buy crude oil, especially at these levels. That doesn't mean that crude oil can go further down into the mid 60s, but I think for long term, that would be an awesome buying opportunity. So whether you're trading it on the future side or on the Forex side, or both like I do, I think there's going to be some tremendous opportunities if crude oil does dip down one more time below that structure point that we showed you earlier in the video, to start picking up crude oil for a buy and hold type of situation. Okay, that's it for today's video. Again, if you got some value, hit that like button. I hope to see you all engaged and involved, both in our YouTube community and, of course, inside of our private trading club. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next video.